Hey kids, actually we're going to show you a very, very cool art project you can do really, really easily. You're going to need one of a couple of different things. One is access to some magazine or newspaper that you can cut up that has pictures of people in it. So I'm going to pop up this picture right here that I found online of this, male fashion model, and he's looking all dapper in his suit. He's looking stoically to the side, and it's a good shot. I like side view ones for this project. So you're going to cut out your image. You can cut directly around the person and put them on the white background of a white piece of paper, or even whatever kind of paper or cardboard you can get. Just paste it on with liquid glue or a glue stick. Glue stick is a really easy one to use if you have any kicking around your house. You can use tape and roll the tape up behind and tape it on. But you want to have it so that basically you can draw on top of any of the surfaces. So I wouldn't tape over directly with the tape normally. Make sure you roll it if you're going to use it. But anyways, get your image on another piece of paper. All right, follow me so far. So what we are going to do is, if you have access to whiteout or paint, you can use that. Or the easier method, in my opinion, is to cut out. So take a pair of scissors and you cut. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that image. And by the way, if you have a computer, use the printer. Print off a picture you want of any fashion model, celebrity you're choosing. And do the exact same thing. And if you really, really are, in there and you've got either Adobe Sketch or maybe you actually have a copy of Procreate like me, you can use that program and just transplant the photo that way. But anyways, here's what you do. You cut out that chunk of your magazine on that model's hair. Boop. And so what we are going to do as we removed his hair. He's got a very Mike Pence looking thing going on here, but regardless, or Anderson Cooper, I don't know, you want to pull out for that? If you know that reference, you're old enough to be watching the news. But anyways, you got yourself the hair cut out of your model. Now, I bet you guys know what I'm going to tell you to do. Replace the hair. And have some fun with it. Be crazy, okay? So I was doodling around, and here's the replacement that I came up with, and I can talk a little bit about it. But oh yes, he looks magnificent. So what we're doing here is we are just literally drawing on top of what we cut out. And so you can do that a couple of different ways. One, you can actually take a white piece of paper and cut that out in the shape of the hair that you want to paste on. It's a little bit of collage work. If you're trying to do the things like down here where I overlapped the braid kind of wrapping around his neck to give it more of a convincing feeling that it's part of the scene, then you just have to kind of predict where that's going to bend around. If you're doing the rest of the hair, it's just a matter of kind of outlining what you think you're going to do. Glue that on, color it in with marker, colored pencil, crayon, whatever you got your hands on, highlighter, pen, pencil. And just make it look as cool as you possibly can, and absolutely as crazy as you can. You can have the giant beehive thing going on with their hair. You can have, all the Technicolor things. You can go Super Saiyan, like some sort of Dragon Ball Z character. In my case, I did this weird multicolored Fabio hair with two kind of almost like mermaid braids coming off the side, and I find this kind of hilarious. But anyways, this is just an easy way to do it. I do definitely recommend using a Sharpie or a dark marker to outline and kind of give it just a little more pop and, kind of cartoonish illustrative feel. And in my case, I left the background. I like that, and you can do that. If you don't have a background, if you cut out your character completely, then you don't even need to paste on a white piece of paper. Your background is your canvas. And so that becomes fun because you can even set the scene. So not only can you mess with their hair, but you can mess with where they are. So since my guy looks like some sort of, Marvel superhero mermaid, maybe I put him underwater and have kind of a goofy scene going on there. Or maybe he's like a space pirate and he's out standing on the moon. It's totally up to you. You can illustrate any piece you want with that. You're really just using that model or that person you chose as a character to create your own. I find that really hilarious. So you don't have to just stop there. If you happen to have whiteout right on top of your character and get a little crazy with it. Or if you got white acrylic paint, or if you're just good with cutting out paper and pasting it on. Here, we also made a modification to the beard. So I feel like this guy went a little too crazy with the hair dye. I don't know. Maybe this is the new look, a little bit hipster. But you guys can see, you can absolutely go bonkers. You can modify their clothing, you can modify their face, you can give them piercings and tattoos and scars, and honestly, it's just good fun. I tell you, I did this as a kid. I used to take my father's newspaper away from him on a regular basis and doodle just with a pen on every single face I could find throughout the entire newspaper. it drove him completely insane, but it was definitely fun for me. And I left no smiling face without teeth missing. I left no politician without an eye patch. And I just had a really, really good time. And I think it's a really good way to learn how to modify an existing image. So I want you guys to practice that. That also lets you practice texture. If you see, I did this really kind of cool thing creating the braid texture here. I did it super simply. I wasn't even concerned about missing the lines a little bit. But that back and forth texture makes it look like a braid. You can also layer, if you notice the yellows here, I used a darker yellow to create kind of a fake shadow. And that makes the hair look like it's actually got a little bit of texture and like it's shining in the light. It would look better with this beard if you'll look. I'll actually go with a little bit darker of a green. And let's mix in some darker colors in there. And you guys can see that, especially if we kind of get the darker colors clustered together in lines, that's what light does. It creates areas of shadow. So if we do that the right way, and I'll even go with one more darker one in here too, by having those little variations in light and dark, because hair is not all just the same value, the same color. And even if you look at people's hair, they got little bits of red, they got little bits of blonde. You can really make it look considerably more convincing, even if it is as goofy as having a nearly lime green beard. I'm thinking I'm going to be... you guys don't even know. You haven't seen me for a while. Maybe I've done a lime green beard since I've seen you last. That's totally my style. So, a little bit in the eyebrow hair here too, because you can't just leave that white light green like that. That's not realistic. Oh yeah, look at that. This guy, he feels good about himself, and he should, because he looks dapper. He looks amazing. So really, I'm just telling you guys, get out there, use this. It's a combination of collaging. It's a combination of illustration. It lets you color blend and work with texture. It's a lot of different things all mixed together. This works for basically any grade level that you guys want to work on this with. You guys who are younger, your first graders or kindergartners, you're going to have a little bit of a challenge with this one, but just cut the character out, cut the hair out, paste it on a white piece of paper, and just go crazy. Just have some fun. So enjoy it. I'll see you guys later for another episode of Mr. King Teaches You Some Art. See you later.